All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to take a concept that's thousands of years old and crack it wide open with a totally modern toolkit. Think data science, think linguistics, the whole shebang. We are going to decode the algorithm that's running our lives.
But first, let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're just stuck in a loop? The same old frustrations, the same knee-jerk reactions, the same outcomes, just playing on repeat day after day? It feels so personal, right? Like a track you just can't get off of.
Well, here's a thought. What if it's not a personal failing at all? What if it's just a bug? A little glitch in the automated program that's running in the background of your mind. A program that, believe it or not, we can actually take a look at.
That program has a name. It's called Paṭiccasamuppāda. Now, instead of just relying on the same old interpretations, we're coming at this like linguists, like data scientists. We're looking for the raw patterns in the original texts to see what these words actually mean. So let's break this thing down piece by piece. The first part is pati. This word is all about reaction. And I don't mean a thoughtful, considered response. This is a knee-jerk, automatic kickback to something. It's what happens in response to a trigger.
Okay, next up, we've got vukka. Now, this is the engine behind that reaction. It's the will, the impulse, that deep, gut-level inclination or desire that's fueling the whole process. You could say it's the wanting part of the whole equation.
Then there's Sam. And this part is absolutely crucial. It means that all these different conditions aren't just happening in a line, one after the other. No, they're all coming together, synchronizing in the very same moment to create one single, unified effect.
And what happens when all those conditions fire at once? Well, that's uppada. This is the result, the outcome that just springs up out of that combination of factors. It's the grand finale, the occurrence itself.
So you put it all together, and what do you get? A really powerful new way to see this. Paṭiccasamuppāda is a chain reaction of synchronized conditions triggered by reactive will. You see? It's so much more than this causes that. It's the invisible, automated algorithm that is literally generating our reality from one moment to the next.
Okay, so that's the algorithm. But what does that actually look like in real life? I mean, how does it work? To make it super clear, let's look at this code in action using 4 really simple analogies. First up, I want you to imagine a giant, incredibly intricate domino show. We're talking thousands and thousands of dominoes, all lined up perfectly, just waiting for that one little tap.
That first domino that gets knocked over, that's something called avidya, which is basically a warped or distorted perception of how things really are. And once it goes, the rest just follow. It's inevitable. The key takeaway here isn't about any one domino. It's about the law of connection between them. If you want to stop that final domino, which represents suffering, from falling, you can't just wish it. You've got to go into the middle of the chain and pull one out.
Okay, for our second analogy, we're going to borrow from the world of computer programming. Think of the most basic command you can write. If this happens, then do that. Well, guess what? Our minds are running on exactly that kind of automated source code all day long. The script pretty much says, if distorted perception is present, then trigger attachment. And then, if attachment is present, then generate suffering. It just executes automatically. In a way, we're like robots, running a program that was installed a long, long time ago. Next up, picture one of those wild Rube Goldberg machines. You know what I'm talking about, those crazy, complex, whimsical contraptions where one tiny action, like a little ball rolling down a ramp, sets off this huge, complicated chain of events. And this shows us something really important. The big problems, the big tragedies in our lives, they almost never just appear out of nowhere. They're the final, visible result of a long, mechanical chain reaction. And that reaction often gets started by a tiny, almost unnoticeable malfunction right at the beginning. That first domino, that little bit of distorted perception. All right, let's go to our final analogy. I want you to imagine a spider's web shimmering in the morning light. Now, a tiny fly just barely touches a single strand. That single point of contact, in Pali, it's called pasa. It's never just an isolated event, is it? It sends a vibration rippling through the entire web. And in our minds, it's the same thing. That initial ripple instantly becomes a feeling, which then triggers a craving, which then leads to attachment. It's a systemic wave that washes over our entire consciousness from just one little touch point. So all of this, it brings us to the biggest, most important question of all.
If our entire experience of life, and especially suffering, is just being generated by an automated algorithm, can we become the programmer? Can we actually get in there and rewrite the code?
Well, the answer is a resounding yes. And that's exactly what we're going to look at now: how to debug your own source code and finally break that cycle.
You know, this was really the core of the Buddha's whole discovery. Suffering isn't your fate. It's not some kind of cosmic punishment. It is simply the predictable result you get from running a badly designed algorithm over and over. And the best part? Because it's a process, it can be stopped.
So where do we go to interrupt it? Well, the code itself shows us the critical link in the chain. It starts with phassa, or contact. You see something, you hear something. That immediately generates vedana, a feeling. It could be pleasant, unpleasant, or just neutral. And the very next step in the algorithm is to automatically fire up tanha, which is craving. Right there, that's our leverage point.
So here it is. The entire solution is to cut that automated link right between the feeling and the craving. The whole goal is to be able to experience a feeling, good or bad, without automatically reacting with that desperate desire to either grab onto it or shove it away. If you can stop that one reaction, the whole domino chain just grinds to a halt.
And how on earth do you do that? Well, you don't fight it, you don't resist it, you just watch it. You observe the program as it's running in real time. By bringing awareness to that moment, thinking, there's a feeling, and now here comes the urge to crave, you are literally reading the code. And the very act of reading it gives you power over it. It creates a pause, a tiny bit of space. That awareness is what breaks the automation. And when you do that, when you learn to read your own source code and interrupt its automatic loops, something pretty incredible happens. You stop being a robot that's just run by some ancient script. You are no longer an automated program, but a free being. And that, right there, might be the most profound debugging you could ever do.